The Galactic Academy's training facility orbited a dying star, far from any inhabited world. It was here that the galaxy's finest warriors learned to face the impossible. Instructor Velnar, a towering Crithian with 4 arms and scales that shimmered like oil on water, stood before the assembled cadets. His reputation preceded him, merciless, exacting, and utterly without sympathy for the weak. In 20 cycles of teaching, he had never once awarded a human cadet a passing grade. "Today," he announced, his voice resonating through the zero-gravity chamber, "you will learn why plasma ordnance requires respect." He produced a sphere no larger than a fist, its surface crackling with barely contained energy. "This is a Class 3 plasma bomb. Active yield, enough to vaporize this entire section." Orla watched from her position among the cadets, her dark eyes tracking every movement. The other species kept their distance from the humans, as they always did. The galaxy had learned to fear Earth's children, though they rarely understood why. Adam floated beside her, his jaw tight. "He's going to do something stupid," he whispered. "He always does," Orla replied. Velnar continued his demonstration, manipulating the bomb with practiced ease. "The magnetic containment must be—" His third hand slipped. Perhaps it was deliberate. Perhaps not. The sphere tumbled free, its surface flaring from blue to white. The chamber erupted in chaos. Cadets scattered in every direction, their various forms of propulsion creating a maelstrom of movement. The bomb's countdown had begun. They had perhaps 3 seconds before detonation. Orla didn't flee. She pushed forward. Her movements in zero gravity were fluid, economical, the product of a childhood spent in Earth's orbital habitats where such motion was as natural as breathing. She reached the bomb in 1.2 seconds, her fingers closing around the superheated metal. The pain was immediate and absolute. Her neural implants screamed warnings, but she'd already disabled the automatic pain suppressors. She needed to feel this, needed to understand it. "Human, release it!" Velnar's voice cut through the pandemonium. "You cannot—" But Orla was already accessing the bomb's programming through her haptic interface. Her people had a saying, "If it can be held, it can be understood. If it can be understood, it can be controlled." The plasma wanted to expand, to consume, to destroy. She could feel its fury through her scorching palms. The containment field was collapsing, the magnetic bottles failing in sequence. She had perhaps half a second. So she became the containment field. Her neural implants, modified far beyond Academy regulations, extended into the bomb's systems. She felt Adam beside her suddenly, his own connection joining hers, reinforcing her grip on both the physical sphere and its digital architecture. Together, they created something the bomb's Quellian designers had never imagined. A human firewall. The bomb exploded. But the explosion went nowhere. Orla's hands became the new boundary, her body the new container. She felt every molecule of plasma as it tried to escape, felt the immense pressure building against her flesh. Her bones should have vaporized. Her blood should have turned to steam. Instead, she held. Adam's voice echoed in her neural space. "I've got the feedback loop. Channel it back." And she understood. The explosion's energy, unable to expand outward, began to fold inward. They weren't just containing it, they were forcing it to consume itself, a snake eating its own tail at relativistic speeds. 5 seconds. 10. 15. The chamber had gone silent. Every species present, Crithian, Voldari, Synth, and others whose names humans struggled to pronounce, watched in stunned disbelief as a human girl held an exploding plasma bomb in her bare hands and simply refused to let it kill her. At 20 seconds, the bomb died, its energy dissipated into harmless thermal radiation that Orla's body absorbed and distributed through her enhanced circulatory system. She opened her hands. The sphere was slag, melted and reformed around the shape of her fingers. Her palms were burned, certainly, but already her nanites were beginning repairs. She would heal. She looked up at Velnar. "You were saying, Instructor? About respect?" The Crithian's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of profound shock in his species. Around the chamber, cadets began returning, staring at Orla as if seeing her for the first time. A Voldari cadet, Thexmin, Orla remembered, floated closer. "How?" The translator struggled with the awe in their voice. "The physics alone. Your flesh should have—" "Human flesh is stubborn," Adam said, grinning despite his own trembling hands. "It evolved to persist, to endure, to refuse impossible odds." "But more than that," Orla added, her voice steady despite the adrenaline crash beginning to set in. "We evolved to hold on to things, to grasp fire when we needed warmth, to clutch weapons when we needed defense, to grip each other when we needed comfort." She looked at her ruined palms, already half-healed. "We're very good at not letting go." Velnar descended to their level, his expression unreadable. For a long moment, he studied Orla, then Adam, then the slag in her hands. "In 20 cycles," he said finally, "I have taught thousands of cadets. Never have I witnessed such reckless, illogical, impossible determination." He paused. "You pass. Both of you." As the session ended and cadets dispersed, whispers following in their wake, Orla and Adam floated toward the exit. Behind them, they heard Thexmin speaking to another cadet. "They held an explosion, just held it. What kind of species does that?" And Adam's response, soft enough that only Orla could hear. "The kind that comes from a world that spent 4 billion years trying to kill us. We learned to hold on tight." Orla smiled, flexing her healing fingers. In the galaxy's ancient calculus of power, humanity had found its equation. Not the strongest, not the fastest, but the ones who simply refused to let go, even when holding fire itself.